this week's feature presentation is it's been on people's lips lately. So uh the remake of Firestarter, not Firestarting, Firestarter. Uh it's about a young girl who has powers, and she accidentally activates them, I guess, or uses them, and this draws the attention of a shadow organization. I don't know if they are working with the government or not, but they need a catcher. They need a container. They need to study her. Very, very, very common premise. So this is based on a Stephen King story.
Yep.
So right off the bat, this is from 84, I think, 83, 84. A young Drew Barrymore, a very, very young Drew Barrymore is in this, like pre-Cat's Eye. Drew Barrymore is
oh yeah, she's like a total kid.
Yeah, she's a child in this. I saw this when I was young, but I think that was the last time I saw it. So this is kind of like fresh eyes for me to watch this movie.
Gotcha.
And I had heard when it came out a few months ago that it was not very good, that it was very, very bad. And then recently, the actress, she was nominated for a Razzie for her worst actress before they took it away because she's only 12 years old or whatever. But, so we'll get into all that stuff. But I will say, when it opened, and we'll talk about Zac Efron also. You told me to pay attention to that, and I did.
Yes.
So I was ready for horrible acting, horrible movie, and I didn't know what to expect from Zac Efron. When it starts, I immediately was like, okay, this seems pretty cool because you have the cool, like the cameras of the testing in some underground laboratory, and the computers and everything. Like immediately, I was like drawn into this story. I've all that went out of my mind. Like I was ready to watch this movie.
Good. That's good because the spirit of this movie is very like this is very early Stephen King writing, and it just very much is. So if you know anything about like where his like writing started and where it went, like he loved like child protagonists with powers, and he loved like the government shadow organization. He loved all that kind of stuff. And this I think this just and correct me if I'm wrong, but this like makes like the perfect TV miniseries. And I think this movie has that vibe through. I don't know if that was what it was meant to be when they first started shooting it, or if it was, and then they just threw it all together as a movie. I don't know, because it has that feel to it. Am I wrong?
I am so glad that you said that. It's hilarious because I have written down here, I put TV feel with a question mark. Here's why there's a question mark, because I was watching it with Regina. She had never seen it before either. And we're watching it, and she tells me, this feels like a TV movie, or maybe it should have been a miniseries. And I told her, what are you talking about? This feels like a movie to me. I didn't really get that feel. Now, story-wise, I can see it kind of being stretched out a little bit and put in that. But this particular movie, you know what? I didn't get that feel from it.
Okay, wow. So I will say this. This is my second watch of this year remake Firestarter. So I was definitely cued in on different stuff this time around. So maybe that was just my instincts, but it's funny that Regina and I were picking up on the same vibes.
I was gonna say I'm actually in the minority. I missed that. Apparently I missed something.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I was I was like really initially I was really engaged. Right now it's generic. It's pretty. I mean, she's picked on at school, and there's a bully who messes with her, and we'll get to the bullies right now. And it's straight and to the point. But I was very engaged with it. It was creepy, like that opening. It immediately sets up this like whole like, because as it is, I kind of don't trust the government already. So I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, like I understand what's going on. And then spoiler alert, we're going to talk about some minor things.
It's a fucking story from the 70s, man.
Yeah, so we won't ruin the new movie, but yeah, it's from the 70s. You're right. So when the dad, Zac Efron, uses his powers, his eyes start bleeding, and I was like, oh man, this is like crazy. So I was like really caught up in this movie, and I thought this movie is mean. This is a mean movie.
It is.
She kills a cat, like, and she's sad about it. She is sad about it, but mercilessly kills a cat. Old man gets shot in the leg. Old man who was responsible for his wife being in a coma, shot in the leg.
Yep. Yeah. No. So like what this? Yeah. This is not. Yeah. Not a kind story in any way, really. Bad things continue to happen to seemingly good people, right? So, but like the one thing that I do like especially like about this character of the little girl. What's her actual character's name? It is Charlie.
Charlie, yes.
Charlie McGee. And so I like my favorite part about it actually is that you should be terrified of her. Everybody needs to be terrified to death of her.
Right.
She's like a monster, but no, she doesn't know it. Nobody, her parents pretty sure they know it, but they're just I like that whole like air of like they're trying to protect her. So it's like it's not that she's a bad person, but she's dangerous and just bad shit happens wherever she goes. And like I like that. It really drives the plot forward more than just the kind of the generic premise.
Yeah, they do a really good job of when the mom says early on, she's like, okay, yeah, she has these powers, but she's a little girl. Like
Yeah.
she's growing up and we don't know what she's thinking and how she's going to act out. And it happens constantly throughout the movie. She does learn control of her powers surprisingly quickly. That was kind
Yes, we got to
of,
wrap it up.
but yeah, you do. But like when she kills the cat, it's just it's a reaction. Cat scratches her, she immediately lashes out. Like
Yeah.
had no control over it. She didn't mean to do it, and she's upset that she did it.
Yeah.
Burns her mom's arms,
Yeah.
and it was intended for somebody else. Like
Yeah.
just
Right.
crazy. Really,
Like
really.
Megan vibes, right? Megan played off this same kind of stuff and to great effect.
And so I guess we should well before I also say this is a mean movie because the bully, there's this bully who's messing with her in the first one. I couldn't wait for him to get his comeuppance. No comeuppance for the bully. What
Yeah,
the hell was that all
yeah,
about?
yeah. That was a woke decision. Lame. You should splatter bullies.
Yes, at least, at the very least, like put his pants on fire so his butt burns. Something.
Yeah.
And then when I did think, and I even told Regina, I was like, man, this movie's kind of mean. Like,
Yeah.
then she later on, it looks like she is gonna get her comeuppance on this bully, but then it's a different set of bullies.
Yeah.
And
Oh, right.
yeah, these bullies were whack. I was like, I mean, they look like bigger nerds than the people who would get
To-
picked on. Like these dudes
totally.
couldn't find a date if they were looking at a tombstone. Like I was so unimpressed by them. And then like her comeuppance for them is stealing their bike. So
Yeah. Yeah.
super disappointed by
Yeah.
that decision. But let's talk about the big thing. So well, first we'll talk about Zac Efron.
Sure.
Again, Regina and I were split, and here's why we were split. I don't really know any Zac Efron. I know he's in Baywatch.
Oh, okay.
I know
Sure.
he's in the Ted Bundy movie,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
And I kind of know what he looks like. Now he's always ripped. He's like,
Super
oh
yoked. Yeah.
yeah. So that I knew was like pretty normal. That was par for the course. So I was looking at his face throughout the movie, and you know what? He doesn't really have that plasticky look to him.
It's his eyes, dude. It's fucking eyes. It's his eyes. I don't
they
know.
were they were filled with blood usually.
Yeah, which is why I was looking at him a lot. Yeah.
Regina said she kind of thought there was something to him.
I
She
don't
was
think it was much. As I think it was well done. I think if he's had work, it's been well done. But it's like, no, Zachy, just leave it alone, dude. Just leave the mug alone. It's good.
I thought he looked pretty natural.
Yeah.
I will say that interesting decision for him to crack his neck a la an action star right before he's gonna made me laugh every single
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, and his power is like, unfortunately, it looks like he's just straining. He's got this terrible strained look on his face, so it's a very unattractive visual.
I think what he's trying to do, and I think it's why his eyes start bleeding. I think he's trying to push his skull out from under his skin.
Yeah, I think so.
Trying to
I
freak
think
people
so.
out.
Yeah, he's doing a good job.
The actress in this movie,
Yeah.
infamously nominated for a Razzie a few weeks ago. I don't see it. I do not
Yeah.
understand it. She's no worse than any other child actor. I would say she's better than now. Granted, I haven't seen it since the third season, but she's just as good as some of the kids from Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, no. Honestly, I think the reason she got some shit is because she's got a lot of like shouty lines in this movie. Like she shouts, she's yelling and doing shit a lot.
Right.
Which, if you're just
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say there's some awful dialogue in this.
But yeah, I mean, fuck yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's got this made for TV vibe that I totally I'm okay with it. But in like her acting, I thought was just like, yeah, it's just like a shouty little kid. Sometimes whatever, man. Yeah, I really tried to pay attention to it, you know, because of the Razzie situation. And
Yeah.
I came away the same way, going like, I don't really see the big deal.
Yeah, really quickly. Like at first, I'm like, well, okay, she's just kind of mopey little girl, like so. And then I was like, yeah, I don't see it. But then I'm like, well, let's see what happens as she gets her
Yeah. Yeah.
powers and things progress, and then maybe that's when I'll see the awfulness of it. And yeah, she's like shouting a lot, but I mean, I've seen plenty of movies where kids are shouting.
I watch It's
And
Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They shout every line.
exactly. And so I was like totally did not get it. So my only conclusion is they must have done it for the publicity, which is so strange. Like there's other things that they could have done. Like I don't get it, but
Right.
yeah,
It's
this
so
this
weird. I don't
yeah,
know.
but
And I will say this. I really liked Rainbird, Michael Gray Eyes. That dude's a good actor. And
yeah,
that character is like that's the coolest character in the whole story, right? Like that's the guy with the most depth and like that's the neatest character. And I loved him in this. I thought he was really good.
he was good. My one complaint about him is so they first introduce him and it's kind of like edge lordy or whatever.
Oh, totally.
And then but that's I have no complaint about that. But when he just like shows up at their house, I was like, whoa, what the hell?
Oh,
Like he's just like
oh yeah. No,
it's like that
it's
was
like
kind of
magic.
weird. Yeah,
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 but
that
he
one that
does work for the Shadow Org, so they probably just dropped him in via balloon, which we know can just travel across the United States unwarranted.
Oh, that's true. That's true. And we don't mind because I mean the satellites in space get that same information anyway.
If you play Pokemon Go, you've been battling people in balloons for fucking eons. You know.
That's true. The character though I liked. What do you think of the ending? Because I haven't
Hmm.
seen the original in a long time. I read the story in gosh even longer probably, but
Oh fuck
I
yeah.
did read a synopsis of it, and it is different. This ending is different. It's kind of predictable with who ends up
Yeah.
helping who, but I didn't expect it to end exactly how it ended, and I was kind of like, okay, like,
It's a quick old wrap up, right? And then it
yeah,
just ends, and then it's over.
yeah, credits roll.
Yeah, credits roll. Which honestly, now that you mention it, I didn't really think twice about it, just because if I don't recall how the book ends, but yeah, it's a fine ending. I get it. Yeah, they're off to whatever. But yeah, it is abrupt. Actually, the whole last 15 minutes of the movie feel rushed. I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Once the Captain Hastings, who's like the
Yeah.
big villain, once she's dealt with, like, I mean, it's nothing.
Yeah.
No back and forth at
Uh-uh.
all. She's just dealt with. Like that's when I got the feeling like, okay, they have a budget and they have a time. They have time constraints. Like,
Yeah.
and everything kind of just speeds forward. They're in the story, and in the original movie, how it ends is kind of the same thing. There's a battle in the facility. The father and I forgot the name of the assassin in the original, but they end up killing each
Yeah.
other basically.
Okay.
So Charlie, she goes back to the farm where they are in this one. In the original, the wife is fine, so she
Oh,
she goes
gotcha.
back to the farm and I suppose to live with them, but they're also going to tell their story to the media and let
Oh,
them know like,
gotcha.
hey, there's this fucked up organization that
Fucking yeah, and I can fucking
Kurtwood Smith of that '70s show.
yeah.
He has a part in this, one part in this. And I was telling Regina, I've never seen someone choose so much scenery so quietly. Like, like you think of like, people's chewing scene. It's like Al Pacino being big and
Right.
large,
No.
not so almost not calm. He's not quite calm, but he's very
Understated, I
measured
guess. Yeah,
and very
measured,
very
calculated. Yeah.
but absolutely chewing the scenery.
Oh, loved his appearance. Actually, made the movie. I'm a huge Kurtwood Smith man, fan. I've recently been watching that '70s show and some of the newer episodes, and he's amazing, dude. He is. It made me realize he was those shows. He is the reason you tuned in is because of Kurtwood Smith. And yeah, what an amazing. It's like a cameo, really. He shows up, chews the shit out of the scene, and then he's gone.
And then he's gone, presumably to where Charlie ends up going, I guess.
Yes, I would think.
So Firestarter, which I think it was on Peacock originally, but
It was. Now it's on
now on
Prime.
Prime.
Yeah.
So C or no C?
Firestarter. If you're a Stephen King fan, yeah, check it out. Absolutely. I think this is a flawed experience to some degree, but a fun experience. So yeah, this gets a broad recommend, I think, from the old Blakester.
I'm flipping the script this week because uh, each movie did the opposite for me. Uh, Firestarter, I think you should shut out all that noise. Don't listen to anybody about anything and watch this movie because it's like very enjoyable. And yeah, it's flawed and it's even bad in parts, but it will absolutely not ruin your entertainment at all of this. So Prime Video Firestarter from 2022, definitely check it out.